Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while, but a lot has happened, especially that we are now in a bear market. In my opinion, I'm going to show you why, and I'm also going to show you at what point I believe the bear market will end and when we're going to start going into the next bull market in the next cycle, right? So without further ado, let's get right into it. Firstly, looking at what has happened pretty much last month. I mean, I have mentioned it many times on my videos that I think the end of the bull market and the beginning of the bear market will be at the end of these green lines. You can watch my old videos and you can see that I've mentioned it quite a few times. And what is the end of the green lines here? It is 80 weeks after the halving, right? And this happens every time. The halving was here on end of April 2024. 80 weeks after, I said we're gonna go down, and we did go down. Actually, we went down a bit earlier, like in beginning of October, but it's pretty much an accurate estimate. And just going back, we can see that this is true because going to last year's cycle, also 80 weeks after the halving, we went down, we had a double top, and then we went down. And the same thing this year, right? We had a double top, a top in January, and then another top in here October, November, and then we started going down. And now, when do I think the bear market, which we now started to go into, when do I think it's gonna end? So when is a good time to start buying Bitcoin again? Now, while it's always a good time to buy Bitcoin, I think we can be a bit strategic and wait for the price to go down and then buy Bitcoin at those points. But not saying it's not a good time to buy Bitcoin now, because it's a good long-term investment in my opinion, not financial advice. So here we go. When is a good time? Well, you want to start DCAing, which means dollar cost averaging and buying Bitcoin around 135 weeks after the halving. You can see it's 135 weeks here. And where's the halving? It's here. So how do we calculate where this is, right? So look at this line I drew. 80 weeks after the halving, which is at the red line, 80 weeks from the orange line, is when we usually see a top in Bitcoin. And the same thing happened this time. 80 weeks after, we had a top right here. Now, 135 weeks after is when we should start buying Bitcoin again, which is 55 weeks after the top. So 55 weeks from here, and I drew the lines and everything already, 55 weeks from here will be at this point. And how did I calculate it? Well, we can take the ruler. We can go 55 weeks, which is approximately 1 year, so 365 days. Let's take a bit more. And we see it's around beginning of November 2026 when I think we're going to reach a bottom for Bitcoin. Then we can start buying Bitcoin again. So what I think will happen is we're going to slowly go down. We're going to see ups and downs, eventually going down to, I don't know which price point, but I can predict pretty much at what point in time we're going to see the bottom. I can't tell you what the price will be. And we might not go this low. I think we might go to here, right? We might retest these bottoms at 55,000, 50,000. And then I think we're going to go sideways a bit and then go higher again from that point onwards. Now, looking at the fear and greed index, right now we are in extreme fear, okay? And usually we are in extreme fear at the bottoms and the price at the bottom. You see this white line here? The white line is the Bitcoin price. And let's go to the bottom here approximately. In last bear market, we can see the fear and greed. We were at around 20, 30. We were in the fear zone, right? If you go to the top of this bull market, we were in extreme greed. And if you go to the top of the last bull market, also we were in greed. Now we're at the bottom. What does it mean? It might be a good time to buy. A good time to buy is at the bottom. However, what did I just say? Well, I said that zooming out, we are going down, right? We're in a bear market. We're going to go down until most likely November of next year. I would not wait until November to start buying. I would probably start buying 2 or 3 months before that, just to be on the safe side. So around about summer of 2026 is a good time to start buying again, in my opinion. And that being said, if we are in a fear zone right now, this might mean we might go up a bit, but long term, I think we are gonna stay in this fear zone for quite a while. Looking at Bitcoin on itself and on the shorter time frame, let's see where I think Bitcoin might be heading to. So if we go to the daily here and zoom in a bit, we can see that the white line here is the yearly open price for Bitcoin. So the price at which Bitcoin was on the 1st of January 2025. and we are right now bouncing from there. It looks like we're being rejected from there, and if we go lower from here, we are most likely going to be going into the next zone, which is around about $75,000 per Bitcoin, which I think is very realistic on our way down to the bear market bottom. And if we just overlay the Fibonacci extension lines, I want to show you just these lines just to kind of show where I'm coming from. Also, they show that yes, here we have a line 0.618, and at the bottom, at the blue line, we have a confirmed support. So it just adds to our hypothesis. Look, we are ranging in between these two lines here. If we go down from here, most likely we're going to go to the next range of support, which is around $75,000 per Bitcoin. Now let's have a look at Ethereum quickly. So Ethereum, if Bitcoin breaks down, Ethereum will follow, and the next area of support is around about here. This is around about $2,100 per Ethereum, which if Bitcoin breaks down, I think we are gonna go down for Ethereum as well. And with that being said, that's it for the video. I'll try and upload more coming up, and hope the price downturn hasn't hurt you guys too much. If you have positions, I would just keep them for now. That's just my opinion. Especially if you have Bitcoin, just keep it. There's no point in selling now and trying to buy back when it goes down more, because most people who do that will end up losing money. So just keep it, and as we go down, keep dollar cost averaging, keep buying a bit more Bitcoin. And I would actually only buy Bitcoin. Don't forget all the altcoins. Just stick to the Bitcoin strategy. With that being said, see you guys next time. Bye.